Transfers. You ain't
so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel of Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. Do hope you're doing well, mate. Genuinely do hope that. And yes, this is a Chelsea news, aggregating what's being said about Chelsea from across the world football media. Seeing what's said, giving you my thoughts, more importantly asking for yours. There's lots to talk Lots to talk about today. Gallagher still being really strongly linked to Atletico Madrid. Fresh talks with striker stuff. Victor Osimhen actually coming to the fore again. Could that be a thing? Lukaku to Napoli. Could that be a thing? Juventus want Broja. And what's going on with Chalobah as he's rejecting loads of transfer opportunities. We'll talk about it all in today's video, this evening's video. So as always, a big thank you for joining me, guys. Lots of love all around here at Football Therapy for supporting the content. You're all welcome. If you're new to the content, consider subscribing. If you do choose to subscribe, you should hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Not my best. Alright. Let's start off with Conor Gallagher. A chap called Mate Moretto, journalist, has spoken about how Atletico Madrid are considering many different midfield options, but despite considering multiple different candidates, their top choice midfielder remains Conor Gallagher. Now, the thing is with Atletico Madrid, they will not offer, or certainly haven't been considering offering the money that Chelsea would be interested in accepting. Of course, the other competitors at the moment, personally, I imagine loads of clubs are interested in Gallagher because he's a very useful, dedicated, professional player that's still young, of course. But it's Aston Villa and it's Tottenham. Tottenham have a long-standing interest in him. We've spoken about that at length. Whether he'd go or not is another story because, of course, he comes from a very potent Chelsea supporting family. Whether he'd want to go to Tottenham is another thing. Look, make no bones about it. He wants to stay at Chelsea and succeed at Chelsea. That may or may not be a realistic, ambition for him right now, but this is where we're at. We all got to be big boys about this and understand the way the cookie crumbles in the world of football. So, Villa, Champions League football, Atletico Madrid, I'm assuming they finished top four. I haven't actually checked before recording this. But massive club, Wanda Metropolitano, Galactico players, and, he is the kind of player that Atletico Madrid, as a team, as a fan base, and certainly as a manager, would absolutely adore Conor Gallagher. So, unsurprisingly, he remains their top midfield choice. Of course, they've done quite well recently out of English internationals. Trippier went over there and won the title, didn't he? He had a lovely time over there. And he was so important to them. The season they won La Liga, there was only a title race because he got banned for like a few weeks, didn't he? And he was so important that season. Anyway, yes, they will recognise the value that can be produced from Conor Gallagher in the midfield in La Liga. And yeah, man, if he has to go, if we're going to sell him, I'd love to see him go to Atletico Madrid. It'll be a wicked signing. That'll be fun. It would be fun. I hope he stays in the England team. I hope he keeps getting called up, whether it's Southgate or hopefully a new manager. And if he is to leave to Chelsea, I'd love for him to go there. But of course, Chelsea want to generate the optimum and maximum revenue for an asset in England international. Of course, a player that wore the captain's armband loads last season. That was always available. Very professional young man. But then again, only has 12 months left on his deal. Of course, they got 55 for Mason Mount, rising to 60, who had 12 months. I think Mason Mount was more high profile, more desirable. Mason Mount was a Champions League winner. Conor Gallagher isn't that. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, if you wanted one of the two in your squads, you'd probably go for Conor Gallagher. In terms of how Mason Mount's career is going. So yes, just wanted to start on that. That is the case that Atletico Madrid are prioritizing Conor Gallagher. Alright, many stories to get into, so let's carry on going. This story is coming from teamtalk.com. They're speaking about, and this is an exclusive from Team Talk, that Chelsea star is at loggerheads with Blues board after rejecting 3 Premier League transfers. So this is Trevoh Chalobah. Of course, Chelsea have already made transfers. It's sort of giving a roundup here of the 5 transfers we've already made, and we've made a few sales. But one of the players Maresca is prepared to part ways with is defender Trevoh Chalobah. And sources have told Team Talk, the transfer correspondent Fraser Fletcher, that he's got interest from several sides, which doesn't surprise me. He's a good player, Trevoh. He's versatile, centre-back, right-back, CDM in midfield. We understand that Chalobah has turned down opportunities from 3 Premier League clubs. Team Talk can exclusively reveal that Nottingham Forest, pause there, that's not an exclusive. You know, we know that he's turned down a deal to go, or an opportunity to go to Nottingham Forest. I think he would have accepted and was interested to go to Bayern Munich when Thomas Tuchel was there. And Thomas Tuchel was interested in bringing him to Bayern. I think probably now Tuchel's gone, that interest has waned. But you'd understand going to Bayern Munich, yes please, like Eric Dyer said. Going to Nottingham Forest, not so much. You know, with the greatest respect to Forest. But a couple more. And London clubs here, Fulham and Crystal Palace. So they've all seen approaches turned away by the 25-year-old who's waiting for the perfect opportunity to take the next step in his career. Chalobah is even willing to wait it out next season and could spend another year on the fringes as he awaits the correct offer. He is on a long-term deal at Chelsea. We gave him 2 long-term deals recently, of course. And this current one runs until 2028 and includes an option for a further year. Obviously, that's on Chelsea. There's no panic from Chalobah's side to secure a move this summer, but he could be willing to go out on loan to get more first-team football. He made just 10 starts last campaign, and he isn't part this, and this is big. He isn't part of Maresca's long-term plans. I mean, look, many of you will be like me, okay? And I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but have the greatest respect of Chalobah as a very good player. As more of a, if he plays in midfield, he's more of a conventional stopper rather than like a regista or playmaker, like an Enzo. That's not, you know, disrespectful to say. We all know that. He's a good versatile player at a good level. He did well in Ligue 1, playing in central midfield. He did well at Chelsea at times, coming in and doing a job. But maybe, look, there's that wicked pass he did at the end of last season. I'm not saying he's not technical, but looking at the comparison of other players that Chelsea have on their roster, he doesn't, perhaps come across as the most cultured off the bat. And that's, again, with the greatest respect to an excellent player. That's just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own. And if we are to believe this article, then he isn't in Maresca's plans. Then fair enough, it is what it is. Like Trev, I hate to say it, and it has to come up in most videos, but he represents a pure profit asset, which is good for business, right? And by the way, fair play to him. He doesn't have to go anywhere. We gave him a big long contract. Just chill, bro. Chill, until you find where you want to go. I'd never say like, oh, get out of my club, stop getting, taking the money and go play some football. Have some self-respect, which there's been certain instances with certain players at certain clubs that's happened in certain fan bases. I'd never say that about Trev. He's a a good guy. He's a God-fearing young man, and he's just a professional, and he just wants what's best for him, and you got to respect that. So Tottenham remain interested. That's going into Conor Gallagher talking about Tottenham. So we've spoken about that. But yes, at loggerheads, Trevoh Chalobah with the Chelsea board, apparently. And what's going to happen with Trev, we'll see. But yeah, maybe he'll go out on loan, raise his profile, and then get a big move. And maybe that will be best for everyone involved. Maybe. So we're going to talk about Italian clubs now, Napoli, Juventus, and strikers. Firstly, London World has written this, they're citing court offside. Chelsea is said to be beginning new talks with Napoli over the possible signing of superstar striker Victor Osimhen, according to court offside. Romelu Lukaku could be part of the potential deal. While reports claiming that the Belgium striker wants Napoli this summer, and I guess not Saudi. The Blues would still have to stump up a huge amount of money, likely close to £100 million to seal a deal, and it remains unclear whether they can manage that willing PSR. But with Osimhen looking likely to leave, Chelsea fans will be pleased to hear reports claiming their club are keeping their hat in the ring for the striker. Napoli boss Antonio Conte has already said, quote, "We are talking about Victor as a professional, an excellent top player. I spoke to him and he knows absolutely nothing has changed. He belongs to Napoli. He knows those who belong to Napoli work hard and have the right attitude. Even if there's some sort of agreement that we still don't know how it will end, he's here with a smile and count." Basically, he's being a professional. He's training with a man dem. Conte's also said in a previous quote that he understands that Victor Osimhen, there's a gentleman's agreement that he can leave Napoli. He's cited other players, Conte, including Kvaratskhelia, saying, "I've vetoed an exit," despite Kvaratskhelia and his agent saying, "Yeah, we want to get out of here, we want to leave Napoli." Conte's like, "No, I've agreed to be the Napoli gaffer, knowing that this is going to be a player buying, an important player." In the same way he comes to Chelsea and has that Eden Hazard left winger, he wants that sort of creative wild card. He gets that with Cravadonna, but he came in with eyes wide open, Antonio Conte, knowing that there's an agreement that if X amount is met, that Victor Osimhen will be sold. Now, of course, Victor Osimhen was offered a Saudi transfer the previous summer when they just won the Scudetto. He said no, but apparently he is open to the idea. And the truth is, the summer after, and of course Napoli did a lot worse, not winning the title, finishing like 8th or something. And of course him not having the best AFCON as well, and being injured, and falling out with Napoli for the social media, stuff with the TikTok taking the mick out of him. Everything changed essentially. Now the potential places that Osimhen could turn up, it is Chelsea. We know he's like kind of a Chelsea fan. Of course, he's been in that Chelsea shirt as a kid. He's idols Didier Drogba. We all know that. And Chelsea have an illustrious history of African players. It seems like a good fit, but it's just probably too much money. I mean, look, even if we could afford the contract, say we get £90 million, and a year ago you'd rip someone's hand off for Osimhen for £90 million. Obviously that's changed now, but let's just say Chelsea think, right, we need a senior striker. He'll raise our profile in Africa alongside Nico Jackson. It's worth it. We'll do that. We'll stick him on a 6-year deal. Let's sign Victor Osimhen, right? Let's just say Chelsea agree. It's the wages. It's the wages as well. But his landing points at the moment are 3 places, as far as I'm concerned. It's Chelsea, which I'm not sure how likely, despite new talks happening. Paris Saint-Germain, I think it's probably quite likely because they'd give him a lot of money. But at the same time, they've got Kolo Muani and they've got Gonzalo Ramos. I know they want to replace Mbappe, but they've got number 9s. They've got 2 high-profile number 9s, PSG. So that's a strange one for me. And of course, Saudi. I don't think he necessarily wants to go to Saudi. Of course, the elephant in the room is what we're going to do with Lukaku. Lukaku wants to go to Napoli, so let's talk about that now. So this is calcionapoli24.italia. I've translated the news page here so we can read it in English, so if it sounds a bit broken English, that's why. Lukaku wants to play for Napoli. Off the bat, yes, he wants to probably stay in Italy. He loves it in Italy. He's played his best football there. He liked it at Roma. He loved it at Inter, despite leaving for Chelsea. And he likes it there. He speaks fluent Italian, and he loves playing in Italy, and it suits him, right? It does. And of course, the massive selling point here is these, as Thomas Tuchel once said, his daddy is the manager, Antonio Conte. No manager has got the magic out of Romelu Lukaku like Antonio Conte has. You could say Roberto Martinez came close with Belgium and Everton when he managed both respectively. Lukaku had some excellent performances under him, but the truth is those 2 years under Conte, Lukaku was a machine. So he will know that. He will know Conte gets the best out of him, and he will see an opportunity before he's out of his prime, which he's very close. To do that. So this website, Calcio Napoli, says this: Napoli transfer market, Lukaku is waiting for Napoli. The Belgium striker hopes the issue of Victor Osimhen can be resolved quickly, which means they will need a striker, which is effectively blocking Romelu's arrival in the Azzurri. As reported in Il Mattino, Chelsea will give Lukaku away for a figure between 25 and 30 million euros. What happened to 40 million euros? It's just gone to 25 to 30. Wow. Owen Wilson, that, mate. That is... I mean, just let the nightmare end, innit? But freaking hell. The former Inter and Roma player, he's agreed a 3-year contract is reportedly ready at the court of Aurelio De Laurentiis. Of course, he's the big dog at Napoli. Let's talk about this. Okay, so if I had my way, I'd sell him to Saudi Arabia because we'd get more of a transfer fee. We'd get a bigger transfer fee. But I get Lukaku. And look, I don't want to... Look, Lukaku behaved like an absolute knobber. He has. As much as I loved him at Inter, he just behaved like an absolute child at Chelsea and did the wrong thing. And that needs to be recognised. But, let's all move on and wish each other the best. I get it from his position, carrying on playing at a competitive level. He loves Italian football culture, the way the fans support the teams. I get it. Napoli's great, Naples, fine. I get it. But 25 million euros to say a definite 40 million euros from the PIF funded Saudi league is a big thing. But look, the main thing here is the nightmare ending. And I guess if we say the 25, say 30 million euro cash, 25 million part exchange, 25 plus 75 million euro cash, which is 100 million euros, which is what, 90 million pounds or something for Victor Osimhen. Of course, Fabrizio Romano reported on this weeks ago now, saying there's no part exchange negotiations going on. I don't know if you can hear that thunder outside. Thunderstorms in the kingdom, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a British summer, the 15th of July. Absolutely chicken oriental. Yes, we'll see what happens with Romelu Lukaku into Naples. Let me know what you think. Finally, I want to end on Armando Broja because Juve, Italian behemoth, Juve are interested. So saith tuttojuve.com. Again, translated page. So I think so. It's Tutto Mercato Web. Part of the network, so big, Italian publication. They say this: according to what our editorial team has gathered, Juventus is following Armando Broja, an Albanian striker from Chelsea. Broja is part of Juventus's policy of rejuvenating their squad with talented players. The young Albanian striker is attracting the attention of several clubs thanks to his excellent performances and his growth potential. Juventus would like the player on loan with an option to buy to evaluate his potential. Lots to say about this. First of all, the streets, they love Broja, not the streets, the scouting networks, because no matter how underwhelming Armando Broja performs and gets injuries and, gets his head down in games because he gets frustrated and all this kind of stuff, no matter he's still so highly regarded in the scouting network of football. People want him. Of course, he's strong, he's fast, he's direct, and he is a good finisher. He is. He's a good player. He's going to leave Chelsea, pure profit asset, yada, yada, yada. But big teams have looked at him, and Juve is a massive team. What I would say, though, an option to buy after a loan, I mean, that's still good. He's going to Juventus, a big platform, Remember Morata went to Juventus, didn't do that great, but loads of clubs wanted him, or Chelsea and Man United and stuff. So it can work without scoring loads of goals. People can just see, yeah, he looks like a good profile. But I kind of feel like he's in that Morata space now, the early days Morata space now, where you need that deal done. So I feel like a loan with an obligation to buy for a good deal, 35 million euros, I think that would suit us best. Anyway, let me know what you think. Lots and lots of transfers to talk about today. Lots of gossip and news stories, speculation, stuff we can speak about. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Do keep it locked, because of course there will continue to be lots of stuff to talk about. Hope to see you back here soon, friends. Take care of yourselves. Peace.